Thank you so much for your time today, Opeoluwa. We're seeing some economic data coming into the markets today. The GDP figures are out. What's your take on what we're seeing and how is the market interpreting it?
Yeah, thank you, Kenneth, for having me today. I think market reaction is very positive. The market is set to close, taking the where it was yesterday and this prior to that. So I think positives for economic data that was released. For instance, the reduction in the year-on-year decline from the oil sector, and then on the non-oil sector, the continuous resilience of that sector to performance. Speaking telco, the telecommunications sector, that is the information and communication sector, the services sector, and the and three sectors which are the top performers in that top performance in that segment basically. So I think this has sparked the sort of positive reaction from investors basically is
All right, but when you look at how the market is playing out, then how are investors more or less positioning to take advantage of the challenge, the environment as it is? We understand that, yes, some companies are going to pay some dividends. Investors are definitely going to toe that line and position for that. And more or less, are we going to see bargain hunting continue to drive activity?
Yeah, in the current state of things, right? We're in a state where there are currently no positive triggers push markets positive territory. So at this point, we have more negative events that are affecting market performance basically. Talk about the election cycle, which is already very near. Talk about the other economic indices that the Nigerian economy is in the dire state. Then you also outline what is happening in the fixed markets with elevating and still going above the 10% mark. But, we have factors that we think might be enough or we think rather that may be able to bring back investors to the market. So you talk about the fact that we have stock prices at nice entry levels, and which is one of the things that we think has driven market performance in the last two sessions. Right? So but considering the fact that negatives outweigh the positive, we are not expecting anything, or we're not expecting any significant amounts of positive in the Nigerian equities market.
Yeah, because we're seeing more or less, like you mentioned, some of the drivers are currently gone. But then looking at the half-year earnings that we're seeing play out, some final ones just trickling in. We saw some of the banks come in this week. What do you make of those results that we saw play out?
Yeah, so Zenith and Stanbic released both companies or both banks rather, put out very strong numbers, which we think will aid their ability at the end of 20. But the kind of reaction that we saw to earnings in the first half of the year, speaking specifically, 2021 full year earnings that came out around February, and also reaction to 2029 numbers for Q1. That was this not like that kind of reaction in the for half year results, right? And this is because the negatives, the market basically outweigh what time as positive. There have been one-off or a decade bounces markets in these earnings or these sort of. But yeah, for instance, FPI is selling off stocks as they try to devise means of repatriating their funds from the Nigerian market. Expectation that companies will continue to this earnings upbeat remains in place for 2020. I think that most of the negatives is a significant factor in the minds of investors when they think about playing in the Nigerian ecosystem.
Right, but what about the consumer goods space, though? How are you interpreting how investors are looking at that segment of the market?
Yeah, so specifically this we've seen nice, or we've seen increases in the stock price of Nestle and even Barefoot, and this is basically due to due to bargain buying for investors. Specifically speaking about the food producers, the prospect for the companies in 2022 remains very positive, right? And this because companies tend to buck the trend whenever there's whenever the economy is in a very negative state, right? And this is because consumers also consume, even
Okay.
though they might not consume as much as. I mean, I think prospect for this company is very nice. So yes, this is probably one of the reasons why we've seen the entry into this stock last week.